problem. The bail issue, you can't not give people bail. They're entitled to apply. We have actually, must look at the bail laws. We've taken different grades of crimes, starting with murder and that, where the onus differs and becomes much more difficult with the onus. I don't think the courts always apply it very well in practice and so on, but that is the intention, that some crimes are weighed more, that you can't take it away, but it's weighed more in terms of the onus, where you have to show more stuff, that you won't run away, you won't do the following.
That's why you're an advocate and I'm an engineer.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I can see the sentiment behind it. It's just, all I'm just saying is some of it, the legalities are a bit more difficult. Questions, comments? A whole lot of proposals here that we can also engage with. Of course, asset forfeiture is one of the strongest methods with organized crime. And asset forfeiture, there are two types of asset forfeiture. You can asset forfeit before you have proven that the person is guilty of the crime. And that is obviously where you get loads of money on people. You arrest them. It's difficult to have evidence to prove their guilt, but there's tons of money. You go to court, you forfeit that, and that really puts them in trouble. So that is one area we can concentrate on, is to get Willie Hofmeier's crew to start looking much more at asset forfeiture in this area. Asset or forfeiture hurts organized crime, there's no doubt about it. Because there are very few criminals that are prepared to come to court to defend and say, well, I killed a few animals, I got paid for it, that's where I got the money from. Because they have to come and justify the money. And so asset forfeiture is a very strong weapon. Then you get, of course, asset forfeiture, which happens automatically, almost usually, where you have found the person guilty and the money is linked to that. Then it's easy. But the other one is the better one, where you can go before you have got found people guilty and you can go for the money. So while these cases are dragging on like this for years and years and months, there's nothing stopping the authorities to go for the money, even while we haven't got a conviction. Okay, you were Mr. Morgan? No, you can't. Did you become a member of Parliament? No, then you can't get involved here. I suggest join a political party, come in, and then you have a lot of time like these members to ask questions.
Thanks, Chairperson. Thanks, Mr. Bengis. Nice to see you back. Mr. Bengis likes to visit our committee and always provides us with a lot of interesting insights. So thank you for the time you have taken. A couple of issues, and really want to focus on things that haven't been spoken about today so much. The first being technology. I mean, you mentioned, and I'm not aware of it, technology that South Africa may already have, which sounded like military technology. I'm interested in you giving us a little bit more information about what that is, because, once again, if we to follow the chairperson's idea from this morning of doing a workshop with various role players, I mean, the Army's, whoever owns this technology is one of the people we should call, quite frankly. So tell us a bit more about that. Secondly, you're the first person this morning to raise issues on civil aviation as well. And that's probably another role player as well, because a lot of poaching reconnaissance is done via light aircraft or microlights. I'm interested in us, Chairperson, maybe at some point getting the Civil Aviation Authority in front of us to see what, if any, of Mr. Bengis's ideas are plausible. The only thing that I was thinking about there, Mr. Bengis, in terms of maybe closing down airspace, is that the only alternative view is sometimes it's probably good to have a lot of activity in an airspace, because it can act as a policing mechanism as well. And then you made a very strong comment, but you didn't provide any particular backup on your views on what you called Rhino economics. And I think, and you moved past it quickly and said a comment like, I could back up my view or something like that. Let me give you an opportunity to tell us what you think about this particular field of economics. Thank you very much.
Any other comments, questions? Mr. Bengis, it's all yours.
To go to the technology thing first, over the years South Africa's developed and become leaders in the development of what is called an ARV, an airborne reconnaissance vehicle, unmanned. Recently, Iran captured one of America's drones, as they call it. And these vehicles are able to be flown for long periods of time from a remote site, and Hoedspruit is the ideal place. So you've got Maripskop with all its technology there and control area. And literally, one of these vehicles could fly up and down the Kruger Park and all the private reserves to the west of that and give real-time information, which would include infrared information. So you would literally be able to see every single person, every animal, everything in the Kruger Park in real time. And you would be able to see people that maybe have come from the east and are going in there. So we have that technology. Why isn't it being used? In our own little group, we're trying to put together capital to buy our own one. Because to me, it would be something that is real time. The Americans use it with great effect, killing bin Laden and people like that with an unmanned airborne vehicle. There's other technologies. There's a radar system that is available, which if there was in a sanitized area, you could see quite a large area from a very small device that's on the top of a truck. There you'd have issues around ground clutter and terrain, but the fact is that it's in real time and you can see it, and we have this technology. So I've said it before in one of my previous ventures here, I can't understand why our army is in Sudan and wherever it is when they should be here protecting it, and we have the technology. We have an arms deal debacle where we've got all these toys, let's use them. So that's that one. With regard to small aircraft and CAA, I'm not proposing that we close down airspace. What I am proposing is the control of things. Now, first of all, rotorcraft. What happens is they put a helicopter, usually a Robinson R-22, on the back of a trailer, and off they go, and they've already targeted the farm, so they park the trailer nearby. The helicopter actually takes off from the trailer, does its little thing, comes back, lands on the trailer, and it's gone. What I'm saying is, don't allow that. If you want to transport a helicopter on a trailer, you have to go and get a permit from a magistrate. And when the magistrate hands the permit out, he immediately alerts everybody, from the police to national parks to everybody. Look, there's a permit being issued, a helicopter is going to go somewhere. But we then get to microlights. Now, microlights are not registered on the ZS register. They're registered on the ZU register. And what that is, it's for aircraft that are not so-called certificated, to use the term. And you can do your own maintenance. So that involves microlights and small kit-built helicopters and all of those things. And they get transported on trailers, and they can be used. I mean, Sandparks is using Bantams. There's Imvelo's using Bantams. These are microlights made in New Zealand and are quite capable. But lots of other people have got microlights. And they can get transported on a trailer and be used in a similar way to a helicopter. So I'm saying, if you want to transport those aircraft on a trailer, you need a permit. And once that permit is issued, it needs to be given to everybody. Hey, there's a thing about to move. With regard to the airspace, all I'm saying is that anybody who has a farm on which there's a rhino, whether it's a farm, a protected area, or anything like that, the coordinates of that area need to be given to the Civil Aviation Authority, who then, in the form of a NOTAM, a Notice to Airman, send it out and say, if you're going to overfly that, you have to fly a flight plan. And to file a flight plan under visual conditions requires that you activate it. And when you land, you deactivate it by making a phone call. Otherwise, they come and look for you under search and rescue. And all I'm saying is, here's a mechanism that can control that. So if you want to take your microlight and fly over the Kruger Park, you're in trouble if you haven't flown a flight plan. And you know that under Act 15, the Protected Areas Act, you have to get permission to do that. So what I'm saying is, let's take that element right out of the potential to poach. That's that. Rhino economics. There are hundreds of instances, thousands of instances about market forces. And the perfect one, my friend from Ezemvelo, all good things come from Natal, as you know, Gareth, raised the issue. You can control the market, and De Beers do it very, very well. There's the perfect example. When they want to manipulate the price of things, they let stuff into the market, they take it out of the market, but they control it. Similarly, in the perfume industry around the world, ambergris. Ambergris is something you get from a whale, and it's a fixative for the scent in perfume. Now, there's not much ambergris in the market, so they have a substitute. But all ambergris is protected and it's controlled by a central group of people. The cheap flights that we have in South Africa, the entry into the market of one-time Kalula and all of those things, instead of taking market share away from SAA, they grew the market. And that's exactly what has happened here. We had a market. So 448 rhinos were poached, 129 were hunted, and 90-odd died natural causes. So how many horns or how many dead rhino did we actually have on the market? We have the ability to control it, and the only way that you can control this market is A, knowing how many rhinos we've got, and we need to have a proper census. I've heard figures of 13,000, I've heard figures of 22,000 here today. How many rhinos are there really? During the 6 months moratorium I propose, let's find out how many there are. And when we know how many there are, then we can get a plan together in terms of these are the resources we need to stop rhino horn getting into the market. If you're going to hunt a rhino, your trophy will be so well controlled, and to get that permit to hunt that rhino, boy, you're going to have to be good. And that's what needs to happen. You need to control this market. And that is all I'm saying about it.